Hello and welcome to our channel Forensics for You. I hope you all are aware of the fact that NTA NET 2021 forms are out and most of you must have already started preparing for the same. In helping you to prepare for your exams, we have come up with video lecture series where we would be discussing few typical topics that are there in the syllabus of NTA NET. In today's video, we would be discussing about gunshot residues, their chemical identification tests, the chemistry behind these tests, and the principles behind this analysis. Gunshot residue, or GSR as we call it, plays a very significant role in the identification of the shooter in forensic ballistics. When a weapon is fired, a great volume of incandescent gaseous material is produced, which are mainly combustion products from the propellants, consisting of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, water as steam, and oxides of nitrogen, and also some burnt and unburnt particles of primers and propellants. The other name of GSR is also firearms discharge residues. When attempting to prove that a person has fired a weapon, the detection of gunshot residue on the hands of the suspect can be of great significance. The quantity of organic compounds left over from the burning of the propellant is obviously vast in comparison to those from the priming compound. As a result, many attempts were made for detection of GSRs and they were aimed at the recovery and identification of these organic compounds. These organic compounds included identification of nitrites and nitrates in partially burnt propellant particles using chemical spot tests. One very popular test was Walker test, which used desensitized photographic paper as a medium to pick up and retain particles. After picking up the particles, they were then visualized using a chemical spot test for the nitrites present. The technique was, however, mainly intended for the recovery of the GSR particles from clothes and was of little use in discovering whether a person had fired a weapon. The procedure of Walker test and the chemistry behind it is as follows. A sheet of photographic paper, by removing the silver halides, is desensitized by a hypophotographic fixer. After drying, this paper is immersed in a 5% 2-naphthylamine 4,8 disulfonic acid solution and dried. After drying, wetted with 20% acetic acid is placed under the object that is to be tested. On top of this, the photographic paper is placed and pressure is applied with the help of a hot iron. This hot iron and the pressure softens up the gel coating of the photographic paper to enable it to pick up any GSR particles. Any bright red spots that appear is because of the presence of diazo compounds, indicating the presence of nitrites. The next test is the grease test, which is nothing but a modification of Walker test involving a reagent targeting nitrites. This test is based on the formation of diazonium salt when nitrite in the acid solution reacts with the primary aromatic amine. The steps involved in this reaction is that the surface which is carrying gunshot residue is sprayed with 10% sodium hydroxide solution. After this, the Wortmann filter paper is dipped in the grease reagent and the damp filter paper is placed on the GSR pattern and lightly ironed for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, rose color spots appear on the filter paper and they indicate that nitrite particles or GSR was present. Another test for gunshot residue analysis is Marshall test, which is also a modification of Walker test, where desensitized photographic paper is soaked in 0.5% solution of sulfonylate acid for 10 minutes. It is later air dried and again soaked in 0.5% solution of N-alpha naphthyl ethylene diamine hydrochloride in methane for a period of 2 minutes and dried again. A cloth piece which is wetted with 20% acetic acid is placed under the suspected cloth piece alleged to contain gunshot residues, and on top of it a photographic paper is placed and pressure is applied with hot iron. In presence of nitrite, a color change would indicate the presence of gunshot residues. Another test for gunshot residue analysis is known as Tiwari test, which is also a modification of Walker test, where 1 gram of antazulene hydrochloride is dissolved in 50 ml of water and 45 ml of concentrated HCl is added and stirred until the white precipitate is dissolved. After this, a filter paper is soaked in acetone and pressed against the target. This is later air dried and is heavily sprayed with this antazulene solution when the presence of deep yellow spots occur. The presence and the occurrence of these yellow spots are indicative of the presence of nitrite compounds, which in turn is indicative of the presence of GSR or gunshot residues. The next test which is used for the identification of gunshot residue is dermal nitrate test, and it was used prior to 1950 to identify the shooter. In this test, 0.25% solution of diphenylbenzidine in concentrated sulfuric acid is sprayed onto the paraffin cast of the suspect hands. These paraffin casts are produced by pouring molten wax of suitable melting point onto the hands until a sufficient thickness of 1 to 2 mm is achieved. When the wax is set, it is peeled off, and while this peeling off process, the gunshot residues are collected from the hand. The appearance of deep blue coloration is an indication of the fact that nitrite particles are present, which in turn indicates that gunshot residue was present at that place. The diphenylbenzidine was later replaced with diphenylamine dissolved in strong sulfuric acid because of the carcinogenic nature of diphenylbenzidine. The next test conducted for the detection of metallic inorganic constituents of the gunshot residue is Harrison and Gilroy's test, which uses the photographic paper method of lifting the residues from the clothing and which is further diluted with 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid instead of acetic acid. This paper is then air dried and sprayed with 10% alcoholic solution of triphenyl methylarsonium iodide. Within a period of 2 minutes, if an orange ring appears, then it is positive for the appearance of antimony. This paper is further air dried and treated with alcoholic saturated solution of sodium rhodizonate. At this point, if red colors are appearing, then it is positive for the presence of both barium and lead. The paper is further dried and treated with 1:20 dilute hydrochloric acid, and if the color changes to purple or blue at this time, then the presence of lead is indicated. If there is no change of color, then the presence of barium is indicated, which can further be confirmed if this paper is further air dried and treated with 35% solution of ammonium, when any particle containing remaining barium will give red color. The next test, which is used for the purpose of identifying presence of lead in the case of gunshot residue, is sodium rhodizonate test or tri-spot test. In this test, the filter paper, which is moistened with 0.1 normal hydrochloric acid, is dried using a hot air blower. It is then spotted with a saturated solution of sodium rhodizonate in water, which gives an orange color. This reaction may indicate lead or a number of other possible heavy metals. The presence of lead may be confirmed through an additional step, which employs warming of the paper with air blower
but not completely drying it, and spotting it with 0.1 normal hydrochloric acid. If the orange color disappears and purple blue color appears, then it indicates the presence of lead. The color results are dependent on the degree of acidity and the presence of lead.